Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, go to that Patreon link in the description. Subscribe to my Patreon channel. It's just $5 a month. This is the home of the upset. Last year we hit a lot. We already started in week 1. Let's get to week 2. First game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Vegas is coming in plus 5.5, but I don't think that makes a difference. This is a coin flip game. This is a game for me that Chucky needs to win. You got two coaches. I love Mike Tomlin. I try to defend Gruden even with the collapses every year, but this is a game Gruden has to come in and he has to really prove something. This will be a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. Mark my words. You can stamp that on my head. It will be a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, and it's going to come to execution. And like I mentioned on the week 1 Vegas spreads, the only thing that might hold the Raiders back in this game is kicking field goals in Heinz Field. We know it's an adventure. We know it's absolutely brutal kicking there. So the Raiders have to play aggressive, and that's why I wanted to focus on Chucky. And listen, credit to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's an absolute boss. Mike Tomlin's a beast. But can we just calm down a little bit about that week 1 win against the Bills? Can we just calm a little bit? Okay, great. I want to give them credit, but I don't think that really answers our questions about the Steelers. I'm a Big Ben fan, but how much can he work the ball down the field? This offensive line isn't what it used to be. Are they going to be able to get the running game going? They certainly weren't able to get the running game going last year. So I think this Las Vegas defense matches up good with the Steelers offense, and I think that's one of the catalysts to the upset. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions at Green Bay. Detroit's plus 10.5. And maybe this is a bit of a troll on my part. Do I really feel like Detroit and Dan Campbell are going to go in Lambeau Field and win? No, but I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think. And I think it does have some elements and fundamentals of an upset. But it's hard to pull the trigger given the dire state of the Detroit Lions roster. But at least you know one thing. They're going to come in and fight, and they're going to try to be physical with Dan Campbell. And you're looking at a Packers team across the field that they look disinterested. They look lackluster. And I've been getting lots of comments on the YouTube page about Aaron the Game Rodgers, about is maybe he sandbagging this? Is he taking this? We got to watch this game closely and see. I don't think he's taking, but obviously the energy and the chemistry isn't right for the Packers. So I know you guys are going to laugh me off, including this on the list, but I think the Packers are vulnerable. They really are vulnerable. And I know Detroit doesn't have a lot of talent, but that plus 10.5 seems like an awful lot. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys. Them boys at the LA Chargers. Dallas plus 3. And it almost pains me to do this, but I got Dallas to win in the cover. I like the Chargers. I like Herbert. I just want to see how this game plays out. But anyone telling you they know the Chargers are going to win, or they know the Cowboys are going to win, I think they're quite a bit far off in this game. This is going to be a wild, wild West shootout, and it's good it's played on the Wild West. Dak versus Herbert. And I know the Chargers defense is better than the Cowboys defense, and the Cowboys defense is absolutely garbage. There's no other words to describe it, and it could have been a lot worse against Tampa Bay, but at least you saw them come up with a few more solutions than they did last year on defense. Let's see what the Cowboys can do. They don't have to worry about the run game too much like last week. They can worry about rushing the passer, and I think they just get enough of a pass rush on Herbert to get him off his line. We know Herbert's great at throwing under pressure, but the Chargers' offensive line still isn't up to snub. And when you look at this Dallas offense with all the pieces, all the artillery, there's so many things they can do. We haven't even mentioned Zeke. I would like them to get Zeke more involved. But at the end of the day, this Dallas Cowboys team, they're a passing team. The Chargers are a passing team. This is a shootout. I think the Cowboys pull us out really, really late. I would not be shocked or I would not be surprised if Dallas came in to LA and got this W. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share the videos, get on my Patreon, get on my Instagram, links in the description. Let's get to the next game. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Chicago Bears. Cincy +3. This isn't the biggest upset in the world, but the Bears are favorites, and they're healthy favorites, and it seems like most of the action is going in their direction. Now, Minnesota didn't play great last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not going to come in here and try to weave that quilt in front of you because I know you guys are going to slap that bullshit back. But the Bengals did show resilience, and the Bengals' weakness is on defense. Well, they're playing the right team. You got problems on defense? I love seeing that Chicago Bears bus pull up, whether it be Trubisky of latter years or the red rifle rolling out of there with that red carrot top. You know your defense is going to get some momentum. You know you're going to get some hits on them. It's not like Chicago can run the ball. They ran it a little decent last week, but they're not going to run the ball. Cincinnati comes in with the upset. I was mistaken yesterday on my week 1 video. Cincinnati will win this game. I'm sticking with my instincts. The Bears are a joke. Justin Fields should be on the field. I'm not sure what's going on there. Matt Nagy seems like a bald man walking. It just seems like a countdown to his job is over, and I think Cincinnati comes in and sucks out the last remaining lifeblood that Matt Nagy has with the Chicago Bears and the last bit of credibility he has. It's just Andy Dalton. What's he going to do against the Bengals defense? I don't think a whole lot. I think the young king Joe Burrow comes in here. I don't think Joe Burrow throws it a lot, because Cincinnati's best when Joe Mixon's involved. And we saw Joe Mixon come back healthy against the Vikings. Chicago's got a good run defense, so there needs to be more play action. But I think Joe Burrow comes up. I think he steps up, and we'll see what the Bengals do. I believe they win and cover. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Seattle Seahawks. The Titans are +5.5 on the road. They're going to one of the hardest places in the NFL, and I get the spread. Everyone knows, whether it be last year, preseason, before week 1, I've always been skeptical of the Titans and Mike Vrabel. I've always had them rated a bit lower than the general public and even Vegas, if that. But this is a time where I feel like the average Joe general public is getting a bit too dismal, a bit too negative thinking about the Titans. And I think that impressive win by the Seahawks is like an eye patch, because the Seahawks have problems, y'all. We all know that, and we all know they didn't have the most productive offseason. They don't have the greatest drafts anymore, and you feel like the Seahawks are 3 or 4 players short on defense. And when you say that, you're facing the wrong team, because it's one thing to have trouble covering people, but there's another thing when a team can get down, hand the ball to the big running back, and pound you and sap your life and control the time of possession and keep Russell America Wilson on that bench, on that wood. And I think that's what Derrick Henry does. There's a lot of talk about Tannehill. I was never buying the top 5, top 4 quarterback because the stats said so. The Titans will get back to what they do best. Get in a big formation and send Derrick Henry forward. And you want to know what? The next play, you send him forward again, and you keep sending him forward. Then you mix in a little bit of play action, and the Titans have the dogs with Brown and Julio Granite-Stone-Jones on the outside to really get a big play and really change the makeup of this game. This game is going to be closer than people think. Think the Titans make more big plays than the Seahawks, and I'm not necessarily sold on the Seahawks offense yet. Yes, the Titans defense isn't going to get a good pass rush, but Mike Vrabel better have a plan. We've seen Mike Vrabel choke before. We've seen Mike Vrabel come in sideways before. But I think the Titans come in here, and I think they put in a good physical effort. And I think a nice physical, honest effort is really the first thing you have to do when you go to Seattle on the road. That's what needs to be handled. And I think the Titans handle that. Number 6, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Arizona Cardinals. No, stay away from this one. Stay the hell away from this. I don't like this one, and I don't like how it's up to -4.5 now for the Cards. I think some people might get in a trap. But in terms of Minnesota winning this game, I don't see how they're going to do it. I want to be positive, but there isn't a whole lot to be positive about. I don't even want to talk X's and O's with Minnesota. We're just to the point where I think Mike Zimmer has lost the gusto, and he might be on his way to losing this team. We saw him lose the team at times last year. It's an awful early in the season to be lacking motivation. It's really worrisome for the Vikings, and I want you to stay away from that one. And then you got the Broncos. -6 at the Jags. This should be one we should be exploring. This should be one we should be really looking into. But you really can't trust the Jags. Listen, and I'm not worried about Trevor Lawrence. I'm not worried about Trevor Etienne. Hell, I'm not even worried about this weak Fugazi defense that the Jags run out there every week. I'm really worried about Urban Meyer. I don't know if he's up for this. I really thought he was up for this. I really thought he was going to come to this league, and I didn't think Jags were winning 9 or 10 games, but I thought they would be a competitive outfit. I thought they would be a serious team, and I thought they would start laying the building blocks to building a good organization. But at this point, I'm worried that maybe Urban Meyer not being ready for this might cost Trevor Lawrence. I know some of you guys are probably already thinking the same thing. I mean, there's really no reason why we shouldn't be exploring Jacksonville +6 at home with the Broncos coming to the Heat. But we just can't trust it. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get this money. If you want to see every bet I make, go to the link in the description and go to my Patreon page. It's only $5 a month. Let's get this money. Subscribe, hit the like button. And I want to say thank you to the fans. You're the reason why I'm growing. I appreciate it.